Okay, we're going to get into our first presentation. And to help me with that, I'm going to invite to the stage Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium board member to please come up and take the podium. I don't know, as you know, this next institution is, I'll let Mike talk more about it. I'll bring the award up to you. And we're going to ask also Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium member Deborah McLean, Brownstone Jazz, Sankofa Bread and Breakfast, which we all know as a home of jazz every Friday and Saturday night. Debbie Mack, as we affectionately call her. Debbie, please come up. Debbie Mack, y'all. This is the Jazz Shrine Award, and to represent the Jazz Shrine Award Flamingo Lounge, we're going to ask Debbie and Mike Howard to, on behalf of Levi, who could not be, is in North Carolina, to say a couple words on behalf of the Jazz Shrines of Brooklyn. Michael Howard, Debbie Mack.
Thank you, Bob. I had someone to represent the Flamingo Lounge, one of its legendary patrons, and he didn't get here yet. I guess it's because he keeps the same hours that Flamingo kept, midnight to 5 a.m. But I hope he's, yes, so we have Debbie here.
I'm going to accept this award that Michael is about to present.
Thank you, Debbie. This is award. It goes to Flamingo Lounge on Kingston Avenue, one of Brooklyn's most famous speakeasies. And I know some of you remember that. I remember battles. I remember when Stanley played there, him and John Moody, Battle of the Basses. And so many musicians visited that place after they get off from their regular nighttime gig. Sir Charles, remember? Come on, help us out here. Neil, you know.
I'd like to mention an artist that we lost just this week, Billy Paul. There was a time that I worked back when at a club called Town Hill 2. And definitely on the weekends when that place closed, the artists would go to places like the Flamingo. So I am honored to accept this for them. And let's remember the artists that we've lost and the places that are closed, and work hard to get this shrine going. Together. Yeah, in Central Brooklyn. Okay.
If Calvin Sherman shows up, I'm going to bring him up. He'll say something for a minute. Thanks, y'all.
But do I get to keep this?
Yeah, you
No,
keep that till then.
Michael and Debbie Mack. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you. No. She said no, she ain't giving that up. Okay. That's an archival piece for the Brooklyn Jazz Hall of Fame and its museum. So next, as we move the program along, you know, the heartbeat of the music always moves on. Whether you from bebop, hip-hop, to what we call modern jazz or the jazz of today in all its incarnations. You see young people such as the Young Lions who have passed through our ranks. Marcus Strickland, Robert Glasper, just to name two. Yes, and Lioness, excuse me. That's right. But we're pleased tonight to have the Jay-Z and Beyonce team of here. One received the award last year, the Deacon Leroy Applin Young Lion Lioness Award. And the wife received it last year and this year. By no slick of the ballot, we want to bring to the stage Jeff King, the artistic director of the Central Brooklyn Jazz Consortium, to tell you who this year's winner of our Deacon Leroy Applin Award is. Jeff King. Please put your hands together for Jeffrey King. Thank you, Jeff.
Good evening, everybody. It's so great to be here again at the Brooklyn Historical Society, and it's so great to be here talking about this music that we call jazz, okay? And it's very, very important. And, you know, a little while ago, I think he said it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to keep this music alive, all right? So when you come here, we don't just want you to say, oh, we came and we saw this music and it was free. We want you to go out and support these musicians when it costs money. When it costs money. When it costs $25 to walk through the door, we don't want you to say, oh, that's too much money for jazz. We want you to say, that's not enough. Can I give you some more? And that's the truth of the morning. Now, if you're going to see that the presenters of the Century Brooklyn Jazz Museum and Hall of Fame, we're kind of long in the tooth. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that we've been around a while. And so what we want to do is to have this music alive forever is by supporting young musicians. And it's very, very important that we do that and we recognize the young musicians. I remember coming up, it was so important for me to see younger musicians playing. I said, oh, I want to be like Gary Bartz. Gary Bartz was a lot younger then. But that's what I'm saying. So this evening, we're so very happy and so very proud to present this award to Lissetti Insante. Okay? Lissetti's from South Africa. He graduated from the New School of Jazz, contemporary music. He drops his chops favored musicians of the American hard bop scene of the 60s, though raised in the land of the penny whistle, known nationally as KLYN music, he developed his own voice, blending styles of both continents. And when I first saw Lissetti play, I said, man, he could play. And that's all you really got to say about somebody. You don't have to say where his music comes from, whether it's hard bop, soft bop. You have to say, man, he can play. And Lissetti can play. And that's why we're proud as a Century Brooklyn Jazz Consortium to give this honor to Lissetti, Bob Myers, as a Young Lions Award. And that means we appreciate him as being a young man or a young musician representing this music. Lissetti, give him a big hand. Thank you. The microphone is yours. All right.
Sanbonan, Ninjani, I'll see a pillar, and I'm going to pillar. Do Mela. Okay, that's all it means. Good morning, greetings. In my ethnic language, Sesotho and Zulu. Give me 1 second, please. I wrote a couple of words down because I come very far. So I have a lot that I have to acknowledge. First of all, I'm extremely honored to be here. It really warms my heart. When I first made the journey on my own to come and study music, because I really appreciated the art form. You know, I had so many factors that were opposing this trip for me, just to come and go to school. You know, the exchange rate, you know, world economics, you know, now it's 15-1, but at that time it was 7-1, but that was still steep. You know, that in itself tells you, you know, the divide within our society, our community, and keeps us divided even further than what we think. But today, I remember this day 22 years ago. I was about 6 years old, and back home there was something extremely special about this day. 22 years ago. I was a kid in a room that both my mother and my father had, you know, constructed into our living quarters. They split just one single room into one part was the bedroom, one part was the kitchen. That didn't matter because it was just full of love. So I didn't see that. But this day had so much energy around it. I mean, by 9 o'clock in the morning, both my parents were ready, dressed up, you know, clean, and we were watching the TV screen. It just happened it was the day today that Nelson Mandela was inaugurated as the first black president, or democratically elected president in South Africa. So today is Freedom Day back home. So it's an extra special day for me to be here because I'm an extension of so many people. And since then, April 27, we celebrated because South Africa was the second last African country to receive democratic emancipation from colonial power. And I'm just the fruit of all that struggle, so I have to acknowledge it. I would like to thank all my ancestors, all my predecessors, all that came before me, for all that they've done. Because without their struggle, or because without their resilience or their persistence, I wouldn't be here today. I would like to thank them for their life, because without it, I wouldn't be amongst such esteemed company of great spirits, agents of change, and voices of all our hearts. It extremely humbles me that what is visible with the naked eye doesn't necessarily always tell the complete picture. Because as I stand right here, it is not clear to you honestly how many people's shoulders I stand on. It baffles me. But sometimes all you can do is just giggle and just appreciate it. But the truth of our existence is captured always and forever by the music and the center of our spiritual pitch. Because as I was growing, the only thing that I was taught, more important than anything, was the music. Music was centered around death, life, celebration, pain, and somehow it captured my heart too. And the trumpet was an instrument that sang to my heart. And I was just fortunate that I was born at a time where so much music and so many giants had walked before me. So it just slightly made my path a little bit easy, because I just had to acknowledge and pay attention to what they had created to be able to move forward. But what seems pretty clear as a black musician, because the struggle is not separate to my existence, nor any of our existence, is that many of the conditions that shaped the soul of the music, regardless of where you are in the world, but most of those mechanics that shape the music haven't really changed that much. We live in a time where we have to acknowledge that at a time that Louis Armstrong, for him to have his music exist, he had to eventually at one point sign a contract giving away 50% of all that he was about to do for his entire life, so that he could just keep going on and playing the music. We have to acknowledge the struggles of giants like Charlie Parker, who didn't really get the recognition that they deserved at the time of their life. And it was only about 20 or 30 or 40, 50 years afterwards that we acknowledged the greatness of their work. And I'm here today receiving an award, which in the 40s or in the 30s would have been unheard for, of a black musician standing in a crowd and being acknowledged for his art form. So I thank you very much for this. And as much as I would take it and like to put my name on it, it clearly does not belong to me, as I'm an extension of something greater than myself. And I thank you for honoring me to be able to move the history of our people forward. And I'll try to do my best. Thank you.
Before I let Lucetti leave the stage, he said something. He said that the trumpet was an angel to his heart. But I'm going to tell you somebody else. Come on. Jasmania Horn, this is his angel too. And she also is one of our Young Lioness Awards. She won the award last year. We'd like to introduce you to her. This is not just Lucetti alone. Like, come on stage. Take a picture with us.
She's supposed to use the pretzels.
It's a family affair.
Smile, bitches. Say hi.
Again, Lucetti Nsante. Give him a big hand. And Jasmania Horn.
Thank you, Jeff King.